It's tate.mp4, and I'm gonna be reacting to scary stories. Green. Oh. What the fuck? You is not the Joker. I don't want to get the Sunday scaries.
I've
Did I say
lived a long
homeless?
enough life to have heard and seen a lot of unusual things. Of course, having spent many of my years in the state of Florida, I've seen firsthand on several occasions why the infamous Florida man is always making headlines across the country. Heck, I could have been one of those Florida men back in the day. But I can tell you without a doubt that no matter how steeled you think you've become against the surprises life throws at you, you're never invincible. Always bounce back. Well,
He's like a homeless
almost
cyclist.
Always. Out of everything I've seen, only one thing made me lose my cool, and I think it was just the sheer unexpectedness of it. Just that I didn't think anything like it could ever happen in broad daylight in the middle of the city, but there's no denying that this happened. Everyone knows about it these days. It was a nice sunny day in Miami. I was making my way across town just to get out of that part of town.
Bro is sweating,
I'd been in for
holy
the last few
fuck.
weeks. I'd never owned a car, so I was taking my bike down the shoulder.
That's like me. I don't have a
Except
license.
I wasn't riding it. I hadn't been sleeping well, and the night before I didn't manage to catch any sleep at all. I was honestly
also
too
like me,
drowsy to
actually.
pedal
I
in
never
a straight
I
line.
kind of relate to
So
this
I was
dude.
literally just walking my bike down the shoulder of the road, as cars flying past
So
me.
this dude's just on the
Between
highway.
the deafening whoosh of each
But I would
vehicle
hate to be
passing,
stuck behind this guy in
I kept
traffic.
thinking I was hearing something. Something that sounded like the shouts of a heated argument between drunk people.
That's the problem with you. It's knowing how this down.
That might not be something you'd expect to hear in the middle of the day in your town, but in Miami, it's more than common. But I couldn't help but I figured that sleep deprivation was screwing with me and pressed on. But as I got closer
Where
to
is
the
bro
bridge,
going on his
the
bike?
shouting
Like, where does he
grew
have to
louder.
be?
It sounded more like screaming, but there was some other tone, like a growling rabid dog. Every time I thought I was about to decipher it, a car would blow past me.
Bro,
Then
he's sweating
the
so
sound would
much.
change.
Holy
By
fuck.
the time I got to the bridge, my curiosity was
Bro,
piqued.
where is this guy
I
going?
could
Is
definitely
he
tell where
cycling
the
in a
noise was coming
fucking, like,
from.
wool
Straight
sweater?
ahead of me.
Like, that's what it looks like.
Just a
Like,
few
what the
more
fuck?
yards under the shade. I peeked over the edge of the barrier onto the sidewalk and
Oh,
saw
God.
two hairy pairs sliding around together
What
on
the
the sidewalk.
fuck?
I instinctively darted my eyes away, not wanting to see much more above the thigh level. Beneath the underside of the road above, some strange sounds began to echo, forcing me in for another look. This wasn't
Oh, fuck! What the actual fuck? Oh my god, why is this actually scary?
Concrete, and one of them.
That is freaky. What the fuck?
Spilling onto
Bro,
the
how is this
asphalt.
allowed on YouTube?
Bones
Oh!
showed the bite wounds
Oh.
in the face, and flesh
Oh.
from the
Is this the average Miami, like, citizen? Like, what the fuck am I looking
jumped
at?
onto my bike and pedaled
Holy
off
shit.
at top speed. All prior drowsiness was erased by the shot of adrenaline.
That dude just there
I
was
kept
definitely
looking
listening to
back
Sexy
see
Red.
if I
To
was
be
being
that
ran
freaky,
down
like,
by
come
that
on.
sun got right up into the cop's face. There's a flippin' zombie on the frickin' pedestrian
Bro said
path.
flipping?
Up the ramp, just up that way.
Come on, don't.
So
get
they can show that
hysterical
on
with
YouTube,
you
but they
people.
can't swear.
What do you
Okay,
mean
come
by
on.
zombie?
Come on now.
There's a dude eating another dude's face off, man.
Finally,
Dude.
it seemed like something clicked in the cop's brain. He didn't say anything to us. He walked straight into his car, speaking something into his radio. Then he drove up the off-ramp going the wrong way, out of sight. I wondered how long that thing had been going on with all those people just driving past like that. Then we heard the gunshots. 5 of them in quick succession. Everybody
Is
on
it
the
King Von
street stopped
Resurrected?
what they were doing, dumbfounded. In just a few minutes, more and more cops came, drove up to broadcast the scoop, live on the scene, or whatever. I heard some office building captured the whole thing on their security. I know more than anything that I never want to see pictures of that horrible tragedy.
Wait, so
Just from
still,
seeing
where
it
is this
one
guy going?
time,
Is he just
I
biking
was
into the
shaken up
fucking,
for
like,
months.
no man's land?
I still get hairs
Like-
standing up on the back of my...
A person who was riding his bike here off the MacArthur Causeway yesterday afternoon says he saw one man eating another man alive.
What is this editing? Was this a real story? Oh fuck! Oh my god, this is based on a true story. Fuck, that's actually disturbing. I didn't think they would come with heat like that. I thought they was just like goofy
every
shit.
day, two of us were about to walk out the door when my husband grabbed me on the shoulder and stopped us before the door. You can't let her go to school looking like that. She looks unkempt. What will people think when she's on stage? I was going to just accept that he was right and change our daughter into some different clothes. But my mother, who was living with us at the time, had a bit of a grudge against my husband, and she wouldn't have it. It was her birthday out.
That's how my friend be.
Who do you think you're talking to? If you
Is she a Karen? Is this a Karen horror story?
Recital, you got another thing coming. Go, baby, get out of here. Don't let that oaf tell you.
But ever since my mother retired,
that's how the big homie look at your fries after he finishes his meal in 2 seconds.
Over every little thing. I dropped my daughter off at school, then spent several hours running errands. Early in the afternoon, I got a call from my mother. For some reason, she was elated.
Huh. Today sure is a good day, dear. How's about you take your old lady out for some coffee and pastries for her birthday?
Which was, of course, ridiculously overpriced and overrated. She ordered the most expensive things on the menu on my tab, then told me to take pictures of her holding them up to commemorate the occasion. When I asked for a bite, she said,
"Oh, give it a rest, honey. I've done enough for you today. I deserve this to myself."
I was confused by what she meant. Instead, about 15 minutes later, the police pulled up. They marched inside with forlorn faces and told us to follow them to the police station. But they wouldn't tell us why. I have some very unfortunate news. If you would, I'd like to talk to one of you at a time in this room here. The other can sit in the waiting room with your family.
Oh, let me go first. It's my birthday.
Sure. Come with me, ma'am. And so, my mother disappeared into a windowless room with that man. As I was ushered into a larger... Something terrible happened today, ma'am. Your son-in-law has passed away.
Huh? What'd you say?
Your daughter's husband has been killed.
Why is she laughing? Bro, this voice acting is trash. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
Oh no!
Bro, look at what are the these are why that at jiggle physics?
In that moment, my world collapsed.
Aren't you so happy, baby? You're free now. No more of that jerk hanging around.
But
why do you say that?
That's the big thumbs down. You didn't like it.
I want to tell you that just within the last 30 minutes, the judge did
rule she did go to
that there
prison.
is now enough evidence for Cynthia Sitabaka to stand trial for murder.
Is he dead? You tell me. He's gotta be dead. Is he dead?
He's dead, man.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Damn.
you. Thank you. Oh boy, oh boy.
She's celebrating like she won the Super Bowl. Damn.
Before I get
Walmart horror story? Are we fucking serious? So far, the first one was scary. Second one wasn't.
Department. And since Walmart isn't exactly known for its hot fashion, it was generally pretty slow. Aside from folding and hanging up clothes, there wasn't much else to do. That's why I picked up the habit of hiding my AirPods behind my hair and listening to music to get through the boredom of my shifts.
Valid method.
Hello, sir. I'd like to try on these clothes, please. He had about 5 or 6 articles of clothing, so I handed him a tag numbered 6 and pointed him down the aisle as I gave him. Seemed like the type of person that would usually buy clothes, like at all.
Bruh, he is fried out of his mind, bruh. He is off of that fucking loud. Holy shit.
Can I get in one of those rooms? The guy had far more than 10 articles.
He's definitely gonna jerk off in that room, bruh.
Thank you. Have a blessed day. He sounded out of breath, like he'd just done a fitting room speed run. He gave me a good look at the bloodshot white of his eyes, then tore his gaze away and walked off in a rush. I shrugged. Oh well, just another day of dealing with Walmart shoppers. But as I was
No way, bro
folding up
just
the
said
clothes
that. That was the corniest shit I've ever heard in my life.
he just dropped off, I noticed something I'd never seen before. Not even at Walmart. There were bloodstains smeared all over the clothes.
That's not that.
Little
That's
ones
not
at
that
first,
scary.
Just an eye-catching.
What is this
dab or
fucking?
two. Then more and
Bro, what is this stock image like blood stain, bro?
more towards
What is the budget of these fucking animated shorts?
the bottom, until the last shirt was nearly soaked in red. Pushed
Like-
open the door, revealing the source. The nice man from before was stuffed into the corner with his face torn to shreds, skin hanging off the bone. The parting words of the killer read, "The devil made me do it." Needless to say, I got fired that day. But I don't care. I don't even care that they caught the guy the same day.
Why'd
All
bro
I
get
can
fired
think
for
about
that?
when
That
I
is not
remember
his
that
fault.
day is, how could I have let it happen?
Bro got the dogs out.
If I'd just been doing my job, if I'd only been paying just one little bit of attention, I could have heard that man being murdered. Maybe then, I could have done something to stop it. But no.
To be honest, if I had to decide between listening to Netspend and saving someone's life, I would probably choose listening to Netspend. Is he
Even if you
homeless
look
again?
as bad
Is
as
this
I
another
do.
homeless story?
I was sitting on the sidewalk, shivering from the first autumn wind.
Was the
and
last one
jingling my
true,
cup
bro? They
with some
didn't show the, like,
jerk wad and a
police
cheap
footage.
suit slapped out of my hand, sending all my money flying into the air and tumbling down into the
Are they
sea.
going band for band?
Go get a job, you worthless bum.
J-Wood, 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 J-Wood. J-Slur, J-Slur. Don't say that shit, bro. Don't say that shit.
So you could understand my surprise when I saw a homeless couple sprawled out on a park bench, all fat and happy, smiling and laughing and chatting. So this guy walks up to me and says, "Hey man, have you seen the newest Demon Slayer episode?" And I said, "I can't watch
Demon Slayer mentioned?
Demon Slayer, I'm homeless." Laughter was something
That joke was not funny, bro.
I hadn't. I went right up to them and started to ask, "Excuse me, I don't mean to be a bother, but I'm having a really rough time out here, and I see that you guys are doing well. All I want to ask is, how have you been able to keep your health? Or how do you panhandle? Like, what's your approach?" "Get lost, buddy." "Please, sir, I beg of you. Winter is coming, and I haven't eaten in weeks. I won't survive if I don't get something to eat. I don't want anything from you but knowledge." All right, man, keep it down. I'll tell you how we've been getting fed. But you gotta swear to God that you won't tell anyone about this. Or
Is
I
it
guarantee
cannibalism?
that starvation. Getting there in the early twilight, I heaved off the manhole cover with what felt like the last of my strength. Then stepped down onto the ladder and dragged the cover back, sealing myself in the musky darkness. I carefully made my way down the ladder until my feet plunged into raw sewage. I didn't even flinch, let alone recoil. Or I might have noticed what was off about the sewer water. Instead, I reached into my pocket and found a
This is
lighter,
kind of gross.
flicking it on to provide myself some meager guidance in the oppressive stench. I must have trudged about half a mile through the muck of the sewer when I knew I had
Bro,
to
this
be
is
getting
just like
close,
natural
because I could
selection
hear
at
the
this point.
people
Like,
leaving.
if you're actually
They
doing this
sounded
shit,
like
like,
animals,
if this shit is true,
growling,
someone
lip
actually
smacking,
walked down
boots out of
2
shoe
blocks of
celebration.
sewer
I
to
never heard such
fucking
loud
get a
chewing. But
buffet.
even in
Like,
the
that's
sewer,
just like
the sound
GG's.
of
Like,
it made my
that's
stomach growl.
your fault.
I picked up, then peeked my head around the corner. Squatting in the stagnant drainage
No,
of a
it's
clogged
cannibalism.
culvert were
That's
6 or
cannibalism.
7 shirtless homeless men. All sat around a floating corpse of a man which they were devouring, ripping the skin from flesh, the flesh from bone, breaking the bones and sucking out the marrow, cracking the skull and scooping out the brains, chewing that bright crimson with tendon and sinew stuck between their teeth. 30 years later, and I've long since found out how to make a living on the streets, but I'm still traumatized by what I saw. It's my nightmare in every fitful sleep I managed to catch.
Bro's homeless
but
for
I
30
think I've
years.
outlived all the faces I remember.
I'd take pictures of grieving family members, then Photoshop images of their deceased loved ones into the photographs. It was never my favorite gig, not only because it involved the fabrication of the ghost that I
We're
was
just
trying
taking
to find
photos
proof
of
of,
couples?
but
That's
mainly
kinda
because
weird.
I always had the nagging thought in the back of my mind that said it was taking advantage of people who were struggling with the loss of their loved ones. But all those people willingly responded to my ad. I never charged them much.
Hey, that's the
just
hustle.
enough to make
That's
ends-
just the hustle, bro. You can't feel bad about the hustle. Like, it's like when those IG brand owners like don't ship your fucking like hoodie after 5 weeks. Like, they don't feel bad about that. That's just the grind. Like, that's the game.
Hi, I saw your ad on Facebook. How much do you charge for a funeral photography session?
Well, the usual rate is $100 for an hour-long shoot. About 2 weeks until you receive your 5 finished photographs.
Can you get them to me by Monday if I give you 500?
Sure. Very specific requirements that grieving people wouldn't usually care about. Most of the time, they're too preoccupied with grief itself to deal with the details. After all, a professional
She
gets
just wants
paid
the
for
tough
the
flicks.
details. Or she didn't have the right facial expression. The whole time I was just hoping that the
she's
family
actually
of
getting
whoever this
fit pics at the
gravestone belonged
cemetery.
to didn't show up and start screaming at us. This woman even had a book as a prop. I think it was titled The Giving Tree. After she was finally gone, I purchased a few energy drinks and went home to pull an all-nighter to get all of her pictures done before the next morning. I saw the money hit my bank account and I thought I was finally done with that horrible woman. But I sure wasn't. A few days later, I got a knock on my door. I answered the door to two men in suits who held up their badges as they introduced themselves.
The men in black?
Good morning, sir. We are homicide investigators from the state. We have a few questions we'd like to ask you. You're not under arrest, but we'd like you to come into the local station. My side gig had gotten me wrapped up in a murder case. That awful witch had taken advantage of me. She was under suspicion of murdering her own daughter, and she had me take those photos to make her look innocent, like she was grieving and yearning for her lost daughter, when she was the one that killed her. That incident ruined my reputation. From that moment on, I never did another
That shit
one of
was
those
not
gigs.
scary either.
Reading it to my daughter.
You know what they photoshopped the dead daughter in? Oh my god! That is fucking bad. Oh my god! Oh my fucking god. Bro, do not... Bro, someone do that to me when I die. Photoshop me in as a ghost. Like that. Yeah, that's tough.
Saw about a dozen cars in the entire parking lot, and most of the
She work at
customers were
Walmart?
already checking out.
Is this another
Still,
fucking
I
Walmart
was pretty
story?
sour
Oh
about the
my
whole thing.
fucking god.
It wasn't like I was getting paid
Be
overtime
original.
for this. The next several hours, the one person left in the store is always the one person who gives the most trouble. He was just some
Is that
old
Despicable
fat
Me?
guy staring at the wall of TVs.
Damn.
At first, I
Disrespected
thought
him,
it was
old fat
strange
guy.
that he could be fixated on the same minute-long action movie preview that constantly plays on the TVs, but I quickly realized that somehow there was something else playing on the one he was staring into.
Sir, the store
Sir,
is closed.
you need
if
to
you stay
leave.
any longer, you will be trespassing.
Just a moment, Sally. I'm watching my favorite horror film. I gasped. I had no idea he knew my name. Then finally,
He was probably just pranking her. This is like what they do in like the fucking
With him
Walmart.
gone,
Like,
he glanced at the screen enough to realize that there was some sadistic gore movie playing on it.
Oh
Not
God.
something management would be
oh god,
okay
please
with.
don't show
I
me.
quickly reached behind the TV and ejected the disc he'd left. So I fished the disc out of my work pants and fed it into my DVD player. Immediately, my heart sank. There was no Hollywood reject. It was a homemade recording. I watched in petrified horror as the girls I thought had skipped out on work were tied up, tortured, brutalized, and eventually executed on camera. And at the end,
I'm
the
not
eyes
trying
of
to fucking
Miriam
see
pleaded
that,
through the
bro.
screen.
It's just kind of
And
like
even after
gory,
all these
bro. They're not even,
years,
like,
I'm still so paranoid that I'd run into trouble on my way home from work one night and never show up again.
Bro, I've been watching this shit for 40 minutes. 3 True Red Lobster Horror Stories Animated. This guy again, the Junkler. Let's just
I was
see.
actually kind of nervous. I'd enjoyed being the man on top and didn't really feel ready to relinquish the position just yet. So after everything closed up, I waited in his office and tried to
So
think
he
of a
works at
pitch I
Red
could give him that could
Lobster?
keep me as the weekend
Okay,
manager or
okay.
something like, "Long time no see, me lad. What the
Ah!
hell?" Oh, the Krukenberg procedure. Google it. I had a black market doctor do it. Pretty neat, right?
Oh my god, is it real? Oh fuck! What the fuck? Oh my god. Ew! Ew! Oh my god, he whipping down! Oh my, hey, manual little gear shift? Oh. What the fuck? Where do they find this shit? What the fuck? Oh my god, okay, get me off. That's too much for the day.